Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. I hope that you're good. So today is the 2nd of December and I am making a video today for the solar eclipse on the 4th and also the new moon in Sagittarius also on the 4th or maybe the 3rd depending where you are in the world. So we've got big powerful energies coming up over the weekend and of course total solar eclipse. The influence of that is going to hang around for a good few months. So this reading and this guidance that comes through from Spirit is not just going to be for this weekend, it's going to be for the coming months, okay? So let's firstly just align to the energy, and because I am hearing alignment is very important this weekend, to align to the light codes in particular that are coming through and the revelations and the illumination of what wants to come into your life. Where shall I start? Let's just have a chat firstly about some of the things that I'm tapping into in this video to try and help us. Number one, I was drawn to show you and bring out this particular crystal. Now, this crystal is called Angel Wing Calcite. I'd actually had it up on my balcony today and the sun is pouring in, so it's really soaked up the solar energy of today. And I have to be honest, it's a crystal that I haven't used a great deal. I think one of you gave it to me. Thank you very much. But it was really calling to me today. Now, if you know anything about Angel Wing Calcite, I'm just reading here from a little thing I found on the internet. It says, Angel Wing Calcite fills the crown chakra with light like a halo, reminding us of our own divinity. It is recognized by the angels and can be used to call them into our lives and work with them, as well as helping those of the angelic realm who have chosen to incarnate at this time to recall who they truly are. That's a really interesting end line because it basically gives a nod to the fact that many of us are not just tapped into the angelic realm, we are effectively earth angels. And there's a moment over the coming weekend where we are asked to step into that and align to that and remember that. Not in an egotistical way, so that, you know, if you've got a website or something, you've got the tagline, you know, the Earth Angel. That is ego. I'm sorry, I just think it is. Already getting myself into trouble, Metatron, and we're only 2 minutes into the video. Because to truly hold the angelic frequency is not about needing to shout from the rooftops in terms of who you are. It's basically about just having the presence to go about your day-to-day life, to touch angelically those that you meet, whether that be through your voice, through your actions, through your presence, okay? It's interesting I talk about ego actually because of course a solar eclipse, the sun, is very much linked into, it can also be linked into our ego as well. And there's nothing wrong with ego. We all have to have it. We wouldn't be able to get out of bed in the morning to do anything or believe in ourselves at all. But it's about balancing it, okay? So it's about owning the fact that we may very well be of the angelic race, okay? Of the angelic frequency. And it's as though there is this halo energy around us wanting to christen, is the word I'm hearing, and anoint us this December. And I am aware I'm saying christen. When I say christen, it isn't necessarily, it's not at all about having to then become a Christian. It's about holding the Christed energy, the Christ light, okay? And of course, December is all about the build-up to the arrival of the Christ. But as we move on our spiritual path and we evolve, we start to understand that Christ consciousness is something that can be tapped into and honoured and lived by anybody of any creed or denomination. And that probably will become clearer when I do, I've got this Christ consciousness deck that will be coming out at some point. It's not going to come out in the next few months or anything like that. Still a lot of work for me to do on it. But I think it will demonstrate very well, because we've got representations from other faiths within the deck that actually, for example, the act of giving, or the act of forgiving, or the act of prayer, or the act of coming from the heart, coming from the right place, the compassion, these are qualities that go into what we call Christ consciousness, but are very evident in many other belief systems as well. Okay, they're not exclusive. So for whatever reason, I'm feeling as though the angel wing calcite wants to support us through this solar eclipse, through this December. And that's going to be a crystal that I keep close to me. It's also a crystal that's very, very delicate. And actually, when you pick it up, it can splinter quite easily. So there's something here about delicacy as well. And that's very much a contrast to this big solar event. The sun is going to make its big re-entrance into our world. And it's quite interesting that this total solar eclipse is visible in particular from Antarctica. And if you think about Antarctica, it's obviously cold, it's icy. I've never been, I'd love to go. But in terms of colours, I suppose it would be obviously linked into the blues, the whites, the paler, cooler tones. But yet the solar eclipse, the fire, is going to come in and be most visible in that particular part of the world. And it feels as though it's symbolic also in terms of warming up and heating up and highlighting and bringing to life those parts of ourself that have felt cold or remote. Okay, so those parts of you that you haven't maybe been able to tap into, or you've been frightened to tap into, or for some reason you've just pushed away. And if you think about what you might have pushed away, very likely what you will have pushed away is your most brilliant self, okay? That aspect of you that wants to shine very, very brightly, to be able to hold that energy and not be worried about what other people think or what other people do, just to shine your light as authentically as possible. And often we put that almost like in the bottom drawer because we know it's there, but yet if we do that, it means we stand out, and that's a scary place to be. But it feels as though this solar eclipse energy is going to help many of us to be able to truly show the world who we are in all our glory. And it's as though when we talk about a halo around our head, it isn't something that's necessarily visible to most people's naked eye, okay? But to those people that are energetically in tune, and for example, who maybe are able to read auras or just able to read energy, you will get a sense when you are around somebody who has this Christed energy, this angelic energy, this higher frequency, and who have been able to fully align into their gifts in this lifetime. If you're able to recognize them, it also says that you have it within yourself. Because when you can't recognize somebody else's light, it's because you can't recognize your own light. So please remember that when you get attacked, maybe for your beliefs or who you are. And if you essentially know that you're a good person, that you're coming from the right place, but then other people try to bring you down or misinterpret what you say, or shame you or blame you in some way, it's often because they can't actually recognize your goodness. They can't recognize your goodness because they can't recognize the goodness and the light within themselves. And so your light is very triggering to them. Your truth is very triggering to them. Who you are is very triggering to them. But Metatron is saying trigger away. okay, trigger away, because by doing that, you actually help them, because it helps to push them to go to those cold, remote places of themselves and awaken them, okay? And I'm just now seeing this beautiful dawn energy. We had one a few days ago here in the UK where the mist was just starting to rise. There was a early frost, slight mist, and then the sun comes through and it just starts to wake the whole world up. It feels as though this solar eclipse is trying to help wake the whole world up, but it's also trying to awaken us to our true gifts and our true magnificence. So I actually feel as though it's one of the biggest gifts that Spirit have for us this year, this coming solar eclipse, and also, of course, the new moon in Sagittarius as well. This thing also about angel wing calcite being like a halo, okay? One of you, I'm sorry, I can't remember which one of you, and I can't even remember where you sent it to me, and now I can't find the link again, but I'll try and find it and post it on this video. But if I can't, maybe somebody else can. There is a singer called Dimash. He comes from Kazakhstan in Asia. He is extraordinarily popular. I don't know any of his music. A few of you over the years have sent me some of his songs, and he's obviously got a beautiful voice, but I've never really tapped into his energy very much. But this week, one of you sent me a little clip of Dimash speaking, and he was talking about, he was being interviewed. He was talking about a dream stroke vision that he had. Now I'm going to paraphrase what he said, because you can watch the clip if I can find it yourself. But he talked about the fact he was walking with his father down a street, and I think there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of cloud, there was a lot of, he didn't use the word energy, but cloudy, lower sort of energy. I got the sense that he was talking about an energy of fear. He talked about people not being able to breathe in this smoggy, foggy, gloopy soup. And he was running up a hill or something to try and get away from this smog, and pushing his father in the small of his back to make his father run as well. And then he looked up and he saw a halo in the sky. He actually used the word halo. He saw a halo in the sky, and he got the impression that he had to jump up into it, to jump effectively through the halo in the sky. And he knew his lower self felt that he couldn't do it. He wouldn't be able to jump that high to get through the halo, because he knew that if he could jump through the halo in the sky, all would be well. Anyway, I think in his dream, he manages to do it. And then what happens is that as he jumps through it, he realizes that the air is completely clean and smog-free in that space within the halo. And as he manages to jump through it, the halo starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it actually starts to surround the whole earth. So the symbolism of the dream to me, he didn't actually say this, but my interpretation of his dream is that it's like the 100 monkey syndrome, you know? It's the fact that if enough of us can take that leap, okay, can take that leap to a higher place, a higher dimension, which means holding it here on the earth plane. It doesn't mean going anywhere else to do it. It means being here in the face of all the adversity, all of the challenge, all of the smog, all of the fog, you know, which can represent many different things. If we can take the leap and we can believe that it's possible, we bring in effectively the golden age for everybody, okay? I think that was a very, very interesting, powerful dream. And this guy's got millions of followers. So just have a think about that. Something else just wanting to come through. Hold on a minute. Let me just go to Metatron. about the crown. Okay, yeah, the crown. Thank you, Metatron. Metatron's reminding me that corona means crown. Okay, corona means crown. So there's something here about transcending the chaos of these days, transcending the fear of these days. The halo, which we are being gifted with, for those of us that are of the right frequency, you don't get it unless you've earned it. And it doesn't make us any more special. It's just a mark that you've done the work. You know, you're at a certain frequency. But this, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm just trying to articulate this properly. Go back, please, Metatron. Yeah, if enough of us can hold the frequency, we can help the whole of humanity jump through this timeline loop that we're on. It's as though we're on this loop and we manage to be able to land in a different place. But the interesting thing about his dream as well is that he was pushing his father up the hill. So there's this thing about we need to help each other as well. We have to be able to help each other. Okay. The halo is there in the sky, and it's also around us. I'm now being shown a meditation or just a visualization that you could do around the time of the actual solar eclipse on the 4th. Remember, time's not linear, so you can do it another day as well, but it'd be powerful on the 4th. Don't look at the sun, okay? Don't look at the sun. You're not supposed to look at eclipses anyway. But in your mind, let's just do it together, okay? Let us imagine that we are we're climbing a hill together, okay? So first off, let's just imagine we're at the bottom of this hill, and I'm being shown there is a group of helpers, and for some reason they are wanting to put boots onto our feet. It's a bit like when you go ice skating and you have an array of different boots that you can choose to put on, and somebody hands you a pair of boots with your size on it, okay? So you're given a pair of boots, but these don't have, well, it's interesting I say ice skating because Antarctica as well is linked into all of this. So if you want to see them as ice skates, see them as ice skates, and you glide your way up to the top with spirit pushing you or somebody else pushing you. But for other people, it's just a normal pair of walking boots with, you know, heavy traction on the bottom. Anyway, you get given your boots, all right? And then you look up and there is this hill, okay? There is a green hill. And into the green hill are a number of carved paths, okay? Choose the path that you wish to climb. Some of them are easier than others, but all of them eventually lead to the top. Just see yourself starting to walk up the different paths and then become aware of other people on the same path with you. Some people are going past you because they're faster. Other people are lagging behind. If you are one of the ones that is finding it easier to climb the hill, hold your hand out to the person behind you to give them a hand up. Also be aware that you have other hands helping you up this hill, okay? You can spend your time visualizing that, but then I want you to get to the top of the hill, which has now become a bit like, it looks more like a crater, okay? It's actually turned more into like a volcanic crater, okay? This crater is safe to stand on, although underneath the crater, you can feel the bubbling lava, you can feel the heat. It's as though you're standing on a ring of fire, but it doesn't burn your feet, it doesn't burn your boots. That's why you've been given the boots that you've been given. And then I just want you to, then I'm seeing us all standing in a circle. Standing in a circle, and you take the hand of the person next to you, and you become aware that all of the people in the circle standing on the top of the crater have got to the top of the crater from different pathways. And it doesn't matter how people have got there, everybody is actually there. Everybody that's meant to be there is there, and you are one of them, Okay, and I'm seeing us all, and we're a real assortment of different races, colours, heights for some reason is important. Some people are very short, some people are tall, some people are large, some people are more slight, some people are young, some people are very old. There are people that are very old that have managed to get to the top of this crater and stand in the circle with us, and I'm seeing some of these people have got like a staff as well. So it's a whole variety of nationalities, ages, colours, creeds, etc. And we hold hands and then we're asked to look up. And we look up and we see above this crater a huge, great big circular halo in the sky. It is made up of white light, but it has lights within it. So it's like a ring light, but the ring light has got individual lights within it. And you are only able to see it because you believe and trust that this is possible. And because you believe and trust that this is possible, this, what I want to call ring light, effectively starts to lower itself to make it easier for each person to reach up and touch it. And a bit like when you're in a swimming pool and you have to use your arm muscles just to get out of the pool, this is what I'm now seeing. It's as though we are, it's representative of us being in a pool of humanity, and we are using our arm muscles just to pull ourselves out of the pool and into this light, into this higher dimensional light. And switch off the brain in terms of how do I do this, go into your heart and higher self and let your soul show you that this is possible. After the count of 3, we're all going to be standing in the halo light, having accessed it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Stand up tall and now see that this ring light is around your feet, but there's also now another one above you as well. It's just like this beautiful tunnel of light that just is going up and up and up and up. Circles after circles after circles. Halos after halos after halos. And you just marvel at it. And the group assembled look at each other and laugh and are full of wonder at what they are seeing. It's the wider universe. It's just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Take a moment just to breathe that in. And then what we're asked to do is just bring down as much light as you possibly can into your physical body, bringing it down, bringing it down, bringing it down. Bringing it down through the whole chakra system, through your back, through your crown, to your feet. Completely immersed in all of this beautiful cascading fountain of light. Light after light after light. You're so luminescent, and you look at each other and all you can see is each other's light. All you can see is each other's light. And then with that, after the count of 3, you're going to find yourself once more standing back on the crater of the mountain, having fully aligned and integrated and absorbed that light. And we're actually going to count down from 3 to 1. You take the light with you to the top of the crater. 3, 2, 1. You find yourself standing back on the crater with your friends, your colleagues, your soul family, and you look down at your feet and now you have diamond shoes on. It's literally like beautiful, sparkling diamond shoes. From head to toe, diamond light, diamond crown, diamond shoes, diamond gown. Stunningly high vibrational frequency. Just take a moment to integrate that diamond light. And then you look down at the hill, the mountain, the volcano, however you're imagining it, and you see how far up you are, and you know that you need to take this light back down to earth, back down to your communities, back down to your families, back down to whoever needs this. There is enough for everybody. And for some reason, I'm now being shown that the joy, the frequency of joy, is very linked into this diamond light. And some of you, if you wish to, can just start to climb back down. But I'm actually being shown it's like a slide. It's almost become, the paths have become slides. And many people are just choosing to slide down the mountain or slide down the hill. A bit like a child does on a toboggan, full of complete and utter joy and laughter. And you whiz down with fun, and you whiz down with joy, and you whiz down with love, and you whiz down with this high frequency, and you land with a bit of a bump at the bottom. And you look up and you see the masters at your feet. Whoever the masters are that are there to greet you, they shake your hand, they say well done, and they say, did you enjoy the ride? And then I'd just like you to turn away from the mountain, and I'd like you to look out to the horizon. So it's like you're turning the other way, and you see the horizon, and this might represent your home, your country. It could represent a particular place, a particular person, and you're told to take your light to that destination first. And you realise that by taking the light to that destination, it doesn't diminish it within you, because there is more than enough for the whole world. You are just sharing the gift of this halo light, this diamond light, with everybody now that you come into contact with. And it helps to bring in the transformation of our world as it desperately needs it. I'm going to bring in the joint energy here now, just to acknowledge what we've just done of Jesus and Sanat Kumara. So Sanat Kumara, love and light activation energy, just spraying that. And then the energy of Christ, Christ light, spraying that. And then if you haven't already, maybe open your eyes and just tune into the colours of this. These sprays, these energies: coral, peach, pink, white, orange and yellow, like the colours of the most beautiful sunrise and sunset. Whoa, okay guys, I wasn't expecting that at all. How beautiful was that? Do we feel better for having done that? I do. I do. Right. Okay. I think what I'll do now is I do want to just pull a couple of cards. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just, though, have a moment just to have a little bit of water after all of that. Wow. Okay. Ready for round two? Okay, I'd like to show you. This is part 2 of this video. You might actually just want to take a little break. In fact, I am going to take a little break, a comfort break, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to do part 2. Okay, hold on. Right, I'm back. It was good to have a little break there. So what we're going to do in this second part of this video is we're going to do some cards. And before we do that, though, I'd just like to mention one thing. The crystal that we've been working with this video so far, Angel Wing Calcite, talks about stimulating the crown chakra. But I realised that I was also very much tapping into our stellar gateway chakra, which is above the crown. You have the crown, you have the soul star, and you have the stellar gateway. When I look at the colours that we have for this Stellar Gateway chakra spray, it's rose gold. And I feel as though I just want to bring in the energy of rose gold here, because can you see it's a very perfect mix with what we've already been looking at. Okay, so let's just anoint our stellar gateways with a bit of rose gold. The final touch, Metatron is saying. Beautiful. Oh, I'm loving the energy of this solar eclipse, it has to be said. And boy, do we need it. Boy, do we need it. Right, first card that I pulled off camera before I started today was this one. It's from the Tarot Grand Luxe, and it's the Hierophant card. But what's interesting about this particular depiction of the Hierophant is that it feels as though there is a lot of fire energy behind whatever you want to call that, the throne, you know, the place where the teacher is. The Hierophant is the card of the teacher. Now, it feels as though we are going through a baptism of fire at the moment as a world, in terms of what we have been taught is true and what actually may be true. This is about many different things. It's about the universe also bringing in truths to our personal life, in terms of what you thought to be true might not be. And it's literally like home truths. Home truths are being brought in with this solar eclipse energy. It's wanting to teach us something, or it has already taught something. So let's pull a few more cards around this Hierophant card, and let's see what messages we get. I'm going to stick with this deck to start with. Let's just give it a good shuffle, because I used this yesterday for the Twin Flame video. If you haven't seen that, have a look. It's up on my channel. It will be the video behind this one. YouTube has a habit of only recommending one video at a time. So if you are interested in the Twin Flame energy, do take a look at that video, because it's really good. But I needed to get this video out as well. So they're a bit stacked up, the videos. It's like waiting for a bus, isn't it? You wait for ages and then two come along in 2 days. I won't be around much next week because I'm in London, having a little break. Can't wait to be up in London again, I have to say. Right, what are we asking? We are asking for... I almost want to look at the two things differently. I'd like to look at the solar eclipse and the new moon differently. Let's have one card, please. One more card for the solar eclipse. Thank you. We've got the Two of Coins. Ooh, look what's on the bottom of the deck, the Tower. Yeah. And then we've got the Page of Wands. Wow. Okay. So, solar eclipse energies. Yeah. The Hierophant, you see, is also linked into institutions. Old institutions. Government, council, hierarchy, you know, business, structure. It's all of that. It's establishment. That's the word I'm trying to reach for. Establishment. We have the Tower energy coming in underneath. And we have the Two of Coins, the Two of Pentacles, which is like a choice point time, a crossroads energy. And then we have the Page of Wands wanting to bring in a new something, something new. Okay, so it's like the old established crumbling in the Tower energy. And then it's like, well, we don't quite know what to do with this new reality that wants to come in. Remember, this doesn't all happen over the weekend. Remember, this eclipse energy lasts for quite a few months hence, okay? That's why I needed to read them separately, I'm realising now. Okay, yeah. So the solar eclipse energy definitely brings in a Tower energy to the establishments, to those in charge, okay, to the powers that were, as I call them. It's only powers that were if they're not flexible and they're not willing to change and they're not willing to listen to the people. You know, there's nothing wrong with establishment. There's nothing wrong with tradition if it still works. So the Tower, remember, only comes into what needs to crumble because it's outdated, outmoded. It is dysfunctional. And this card now, as I look at that Hierophant card, it reminds me of the captain on the deck of the Titanic. who knew that it was going down, but, you know, he stayed in his place, didn't he? There's something here about some of these figures that will fall in our world, standing on the fiery deck, seeing it through to the bitter end. And you might say, well, why are you calling them noble? But if you truly understand what I call the violet pill teachings, which I put out a few years ago now, but many teachers have touched on as well, which is basically duality teaching, you have to understand that anybody in our world, including those whose time is up and that their era needs to end, for us to awaken, you have to have something to rebel against. You have to have something where you say, hold on a minute, that doesn't work. I don't agree with that. I no longer want that. You have to have that. You have to have something to chafe against. Otherwise, change never happens. So this is the thing about these figures, these energies in our world, having come as master teachers to help awaken us. And that's why it feels as though they just stay till the bitter end to see the job through. And then I guess they just diminish in the flames. And what are the flames? The flames is the energy of transmutation and rebirth. And then after that, we get a much younger energy wanting to come into our world, which is the page. It's not a king, it's not a queen, it's a page. It's youthful, it's inexperienced, but it learns quickly, is what I'm hearing. But definitely there is a time that's coming where we're sort of juggling both worlds, the old and the new. We're also juggling these paradigms within our own minds. Do we want this or do we want that? Do we want to cling on to what we know and what is safe and what is comfortable? Or are we willing to give something else a new try? So that is a question for humanity generally. But again, I like the ladders on this card. There's ladders there. Ladders represent growth. Ladders are secure, is what Metatron is saying. We can, as a species, climb these respective ladders and we will be helped. Spirit will be holding them steady as we learn. There is also a reunion energy here, the Three of Cups, to do with happier times to come. But it comes, these happier times to come, and this tentative new beginnings, which feels very youthful. I mean, just look at those cards. I mean, they're very, very powerful energies. This is the destruction of the old. This is the falling away of the old. And it's flames and it's almost like gothic. There's almost like a gothic energy to this. Okay. What has to be done will be done is what I'm hearing. Okay. Now that's a collective message that I just brought through, but also you can bring that now down into your personal life. And before you go running for the hills and say, no, thank you very much, Amanda. No, seriously, think about what are the old patterns that you're holding on to? What are the old beliefs that you're holding on to? That life has to be a certain way. It could be victimhood, you know, it could be, oh, poor me, nothing ever goes right for me, things always go wrong for me, I can never find, you know, the person I want to be with, I don't have enough money, or whatever it is, I'm always ill. These belief systems, because that's what they are, it might very well be backed up by reality. You might not have any money, you might have bad health, but underneath it there is also a belief system operating. It's as though you're given an opportunity with this solar eclipse energy to dismantle the old teaching as well, in terms of if we look at something like health. I mean, this is coming up so hugely in our world and it's probably worth a video in its own right. But you know, what eventually is going to come in is that new forms of healthcare, new ways of us being empowered to look after ourselves and our own health, not just relying on the doctor with the white coat and the pill. I'm not just talking about pandemic there, I'm talking about, you know, much bigger. Is there anything bigger? Yeah, there is something bigger. You know, just the way we look after our health generally, all sorts of things. It's as though the old teachings the old ways of doing it are going to fall. All right, so that's solar eclipse energy. Let's use the same deck to ask about this new moon in Sagittarius, because this is going to be a more immediate effect that you'll see. I'll have some water, hold on. before we move into new moon in Sag energy, I got a song for us as well. You know the songs, we like our songs, don't we, on this channel? It is, can you guess the song? The Solar Eclipse. I got given, I've probably told this one to you before, but I got re-given, I want to say, Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. And that is such a joyous, joyous song. You know, here comes the sun, da, 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 da. Here comes the sun. It's all right. It's that thing about it's all right. It's all right. It's going to be okay. It's all right. And again, I'm now being shown that, you know, the trek up the mountain, whatever you want to symbolise the mountain to be. But again, Dimash's dream about he's pushing his father up. We have to help each other. We have to help each other up the mountain, because we're doing it not just for ourselves, we're doing it for the collective, you know. Right. Okay, let's now move on to new moon in Sagittarius. Before I pull a card even, what do I want to feel? What I said this last year, guys. I still don't know any Sagittarians. Where the hell are you? And as soon as I said that, so many people said, I'm a Sag, I'm a Sag. I still don't know any Sagittarians. What is that about? I wonder where Sagittarius is in my chart. I'm just going to have a look. Sorry, indulge me for a moment. I am going to have a look at where Sagittarius is in my chart. Right. Because it's very bizarre that I don't know any Sagittarians. It's not going to be in there. It's not going to be in an empty file. It's going to be here. Hold on. Is it? Yeah, here we go. One of you sent me a chart, and the website is blackgold.co.uk. I can't remember your name. Apologies. Oh, it's Joe. Joe, you did this for me over a year ago. I might contact you again, Joe, for a more updated one. But anyway, these are my general ones. Well, it doesn't look like I've got any Sagittarius. There we go. The natal positions. I don't have Sagittarius at all. Well, that explains it then. Maybe that explains it. I don't have Sagittarius anywhere. Is that good? Probably not. Right, enough of the self-indulgence. Let's get back to you. Let's get back to this new moon in Sag. I haven't got any. I'm disappointed at that. Right. Get serious. If I had a colour, what would it be for new moon in Sagittarius? You see what? This is the energy. I'm all over the place now because I don't understand the energy. I don't get Sagittarius. Let's have a look at what Sagittarius is actually about. Because I don't know. Let's just quickly go on to... Blinking new upgrades on these phones. They drive you bonkers, don't they? Can't work out now how to do it. There we go. Sagittarius, main traits. Sagittarius. Traits. Sagittarius values independence and the ability to do what they want, when they want, above all else. They are adventurers, risk takers. Oh yeah, I'm not an adventurer. We're about to go off to Winter Wonderland, you know, in London, and my kids are trying to get me to go on all the scary rides, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't even do it with half a bottle of wine in me. I can't do it. I'm not very adventurous at all. Okay, so they're adventurers, risk takers, and have sharp business and sports mentality. Well, I've got a sharp business acumen. I'm not that good at sport. Sagittarius natives are known for their emotional intelligence, which helps them to connect with others. Okay, well, okay, let's get into it then. I want to take the adventurous energy from Sagittarius then, and maybe we need that to leap through this ring of fire, which is what seems to be happening. New moon in Sagittarius. Give me some cards, please. 2 cards. What does it mean for this weekend? What is the energy looking like? The Knight of Swords, and the 9 of Cups. And the 6 of Coins is on the bottom of the pack twice. So both times I shuffled that. Well, the 9 of Cups is the wish card. The Knight of Swords is the card of truth and communication. And the 6 of Coins, that came up in yesterday's Twin Flame video about balancing the books, balancing karma. having evened things out. It feels to me as though this is a message of he who is bravest wins the prize. He who is the most adventurous, or she who is the most adventurous, wins the prize. What is the prize? The prize is the wish, okay? To get the wish, you need to be brave. I mean, look at this guy. I wouldn't want to mess with him. He looks like he knows exactly what he wants. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get it. Wouldn't want to meet him down a dark alley. No, let's get serious, Amanda. I mean, no, I'm feeling it's like, what's that thing? Fortune favours the brave. That's really the energy I'm picking up here. Fortune favours the brave. Are you going to go after your dreams, or are you not? Or are you going to keep weighing up, should I, shan't I? Can I, can't I? This adventurous side of Sag is what we need to be tapping into, even if we don't have it in our chart, particularly if we don't have it in our chart. You know, it's like, come on, bring out the adventurous spirit. You can do this. And again, I'm now being shown the Scott's expedition to the Antarctic. Was it to the Antarctic or the Arctic? Anyway, I should know that. We've got a great big book on it downstairs. The point is, I know it didn't end very well, but it's the thing about doing an expedition. You can't do it on your own. You have to have others with you. Again, it's the thing about pushing the farther up the hill. You need others with you to encourage you. Maybe some of us haven't had people that have actually encouraged our dreams. And I have to say here, you know, it's not the blame game or anything like that, but I've said on camera repeatedly, I grew up with parental energy, particularly my mum, which was like, don't do that, darling. Don't do that. You might fall over. You might, you know, I mean, bless her heart, but I'm still living with this. I was trying to explain it to my kids the other day. That's why I can't go on the bloody fairground rides. It's like, you might fall out. The worst was when I went up to see Mark Armand a few years ago, and I bought a long black skirt. And Mum said to me, she said, be careful you don't get it trapped in the doors of the tube train. And I thought, I'm 52. When is this going to stop? And Metatron saying it stops when you allow it to stop. Because otherwise you've got somebody's script the whole time in your head telling you that life is dangerous. You can't do it. You can't take a risk. You can't take a risk. Come closer to me. You can't take a risk. Because if you take a risk, what might happen? That's the whole point. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, think about the train, that story I've just told you about the tube train and getting your skirt stuck in the door. Maybe that could be a sliding door moment, you know? Maybe somebody prizes it open if that were to happen. And, you know, suddenly there is your future life. Oh my gosh. No judgment for Mum. There's a reason why she is as she is, and I love her dearly. Unconditionally, I love her. But, you know, we inherit these patterns often from our parents, or if it's not our parents, it's other people around us. And they break the adventurous spirit out of us. Some of us have never even known it. I have to say I'm not sure I've ever known it, really. Although, no, I have a little bit. I managed to move to London at 19 on my own, so that's quite brave, I think. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that. And I'm not being self-indulgent by telling you this stuff, because there's a reason I'm telling you this. Because the fact that I've just given myself a pat on the back for moving to London at 19, not knowing anybody, it then says to you, can you now please try and remember times in your life where you've done something really adventurous and you look back and you think, wow, I can't believe I did that. The fact that you did it once means you can do it again, okay? That's the whole point of it. So praise yourself for the times that you did go after your dreams. You were brave. But equally, if you are somebody that's dipped a little bit and it's like, well, where's that adventurous spirit gone? Bring it back. This Sagittarius new moon feels as though it's about bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back to me. Who did that one? Can't remember. But anyway, good song. That's sort of what but bring it back to me. Bring that energy back to me. We have the archetypes of everything available to us. Maybe it's on the top of that summit, you know. Maybe you can redo that visualization with intention this time and think, okay, I'm going to climb back up to that summit, to that crater, and I'm going to bring down from that halo of light. Maybe that's what all the different lights are in the halo. Maybe I'm going to bring down that quality of being adventurous. And I'm now going to integrate that, and I'm going to align with that. and I'm going to become that, okay? Doesn't mean you've got to leap out of an aeroplane. It just means you do something that's, you know, out of comfort zone. And by doing that, you see, you manage to escape this energy, which is the Eight of Swords, which is self-imposed prison. I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe you just can. Because the whole thing with the energy of the Eight of Swords is they're not really trapped at all. It's a mental entrapment. It's a mental entrapment that says, I can't. Okay, just a couple more cards. Anything else to say about this Sagittarius? New Moon, the Hermit, and Judgment. Yeah, I was thinking the Hermit doesn't feel very hermit-like, this adventurous gung-ho spirit. But then we've got Judgment on the Hermit. I'm always wanting to say about that, it's like, no, the thinking's over. You know, the decisions are made. You know, you've been too much up in here. We've all been a bit too much up in here. We've been going round and round in these circles, like, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You know, I feel like we've spent long enough in this Hermit phase. It's time now to come out of the dark. And look at this Hermit card. He's got the path. He's looking a bit grumpy, to be honest, because it's like, well, actually, I much prefer to just stay thinking about it. You know, if I just think about it and like maybe one day I will. It's like, no, Spirit's saying, no, come on, enough of that. Judgment. Judgment is needed now. Let's make the decision. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's break free. Yes, I know, Freddie, you want to come through. I'm going to end this video with a present that somebody sent me, Freddie Mercury. It's so funny. But anyway, let's just try and finish this now. One more card for Sagittarius New Moon. That's weird. That's the Eight of Swords. What was I just talking about just now then? There was another card that I just showed you with the swords on. Well, anyway, it's basically repeating the same message, which is that it's getting out of our head. Swords are mental entrapment, worries, fears, all of that. There was another card that I just showed you that I've obviously interpreted. Where is it? That's even more peculiar. It's now disappeared from the whole pile. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know what I'm channeling. The cards are just an additional tool, really. There we go. This is what we've got. It's really strange. Those of you that read cards, I don't know what's gone on here. I'm looking down and there's like another 7 cards just lying here that have just landed from nowhere. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? It's almost like there's another pair of hands here that have just put these cards down. I mean, obviously, I know I've obviously done it, but I didn't see these fall out. What have we got? Got the Eight of Swords. Take off the blindfold. Move forward. You can do it. You can escape. We've got Death. We've got the Hanged Man. The end of being in limbo. That came up in the Twin Flame energy reading as well. Death of that. The Moon, which is the Sagittarius New Moon. Ending the fighting. 7 of Wands. Letting down your defences. New offers coming in. New offers coming in. Ace of Coins. I almost want to say, I almost just want to do this to the whole deck. I just want to sort of do that to the whole deck because it's like anything could happen. It's like literally the cards could fall anywhere. I think that's what they're trying to say. This Sagittarius New Moon, if you're willing to just take a risk and be brave and see life as a bit of an adventure, go on a bit of an adventure into the new, anything could happen. Anything could happen. But again, change the script in your head that says it's going to be awful or bad. It actually feels very fortuitous. Oh, goodness. Hope this has made sense, guys. Let me just end by showing you what somebody sent me. A Freddie Mercury little gift. Hold on. It's on the floor. Let's also just remember to laugh, shall we? Thank you to whoever sent this to me. Sorry, I haven't got your details to hand, but hopefully you're watching it. God knows I want to make tea. Yes. I was trying to explain to my daughters yesterday why Freddie Mercury is dressed like that. Because although they know who Freddie is, because why would you not? They haven't watched the video for I Want to Break Free. I believe that was banned in the USA because he dressed up as a woman and paraded around in lingerie and, you know, all the rest of it. Was it really banned? My goodness. Well, times have changed, guys, anyway. Yeah, Freddie Mercury, you know, let's just talk about him just for a minute. Because again, if you think about him, I wonder if he had Sag in his chart. You know, it feels like he might have done because he just had that energy of, I don't give a damn, I'm going to take some chances and have an adventure. You know, he had an adventure with his life. You know, whatever you think of how he lived his life, he viewed it as one big adventure. Just want to see whether he's got Sagittarius. Bet he has. He's got the moon in Sagittarius. Come on. Come on. I love it. I love it. He's got the moon in Sagittarius. He had a fiery Sagittarius moon. Freddie. Love it. Love it. Be a bit more Freddie Mercury. Okay. Rest in peace, Freddie. I will bring him back soon. I know I didn't do the video I said I was going to do on him last week, but he'll be coming soon. But I am also going to have some fun in London, and I'm going to try and get on one of those rides, guys. I'm going to try, okay? Wish me luck. Wish you luck as well. Take care of yourself. Much love. See you all soon. Bye-bye for now. Bye.